Hey man,
Hi, Sid. How you doing?
I'm okay. It's been quite a week of sport, seeing the botched test match that India lost, and then to see India rebound well in the first T. Um, hey man,
Hi. Sorry. Connection problems there.
that's okay. No, I was saying that India botched test match there, and then they rebounded very well in the first T20. Your thoughts in that first test match? Because I don't think Bumrah did too badly as a first-time captain, but I felt obviously decisions could have gone either way there. It's a bit sad. Drawn series.
Hi, Sid. How you doing?
Fine, man. I don't see you, but it's fine.
I can see you. I can see you. I can see you.
Yeah. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, it's all right. So what were your thoughts in that test match? It was, I thought, a lost opportunity there for India.
It was a fantastic test match. It was a fantastic test match. If you look at it, I mean, we had wickets, we had runs. Uh, I mean, of the highest quality, I think both teams. Um, but obviously, as you say, it was a lost opportunity because I think probably for 3.5 days of that test match, India were bossing it. And
Hmm.
obviously, on day four, they let it slip. They let it slip, and
Hmm.
quite badly as well, losing that momentum. And I think they lost for 120, I think, and that obviously gave England a bit of a sniff. A sniff. I mean,
Hmm.
not outright favorites, but a bit of a sniff. And
Hmm.
boy, did they smell blood there, because I mean, this England side. I mean, I saw it yesterday on Creek Info, and McCullum doesn't want it to be called Bears ball, but you really can't deny the Bears ball. You really can't deny the Bears
Yeah.
ball effect that this England side is playing under. I mean, they sort of trying they sort of taking it into their stride at the moment. Uh, England side 6 months ago would probably have settled for a draw, but not this side. They're looking at,
Hmm.
at, at, at how they can win a game from any position. And I mean, these
Hmm.
run rates are quite insane, to be honest with you. I mean, in a test match, uh, five and over. I mean, that's really insane. And obviously, I think India obviously lost the trick there. They missed a trick. I think they got their tactics wrong
Hmm.
on day four, especially with the bat and then with the ball.
Yeah.
They let England back into this
Yeah.
game, and I think when they obviously had England at 107 for three, that was probably a sign that they were supposed to actually go hard and actually you know try and get another wicket or two, and have England five
Hmm.
down by the evening would have been a precarious position. But as Michael Vaughan said as well in Crick Buzz, I heard him. Uh, what
Hmm.
India actually went and do? They went on the defensive. They started spreading the field, and I mean, easy singles.
Hmm.
I mean, Root is an absolute sort of. He's a technician. I mean, at the crease, and I think
Hmm.
if you're spreading the field, you're sort of playing into a batsman like Joe Root's sort of strength, because I mean he can just maneuver in
Hmm.
and get those ones, get those twos, and get those boundaries as well, and start piling the pressure on, and boy, I mean that partnership was something to behold. I mean, they really, really took the game away from India. But I think India's tactics, especially, were very poor on day 4, Sid. I think spreading the field, they probably should have seen what happened against New Zealand in that series, and New Zealand probably did the same thing at times where they started spreading the field, they started going defensive, and they should have went on the attack. They should have brought the field in. They should have made England play those risky shots. I mean, if you want to hit a boundary, you got to try and beat my field, but they didn't do that. They made things really simple for them on day 4, and obviously day 5 they look really flat. And I think it was they probably resigned to defeat there as well. I mean, for 3.5 days of this Test match, India were the dominant side, and they most probably won from the position that they're in. But it's one that got away big time.
Yeah, I mean, what they should have done was try to bat as much as they could out of day 4, because they would have known that England were going to make all the running anyway with the bat. So rather try and bat out, give them like 4 sessions to chase whatever 400 plus total. But anyway, that's over and done with. It gets too depressing if I go any more into this to that Test match. The first T20 was pretty much exciting. Nice to see India come back to winning ways. They won by 50 runs here. Hardik Pandya did a real all-round performance. Your thoughts?
Yeah, what's so funny, I probably would have given India more of a chance of winning the Test match than winning the first T20. But I mean, fantastic performance. I mean, obviously the white ball side has been a different look to it. But I think England in a way got caught cold there big time. They really got caught cold. 198. Try to play too many shots, I feel. And obviously, if you can get those 2 openers out early and you can get them out cheaply, like what India did, I think you can go a long way to winning a Test winning against England, because Butler sets the tone. Jason Roy sets the tone. That is as explosive as you can get in T20 cricket at the moment. I think Butler is probably the best batsman in the world in terms of T20 cricket at the moment currently. So that is a prize wicket, and if you can get him out, you go a long way to winning the match. And you could see, because when Butler is scoring runs, it just that energy goes through the dressing room, and everybody feeds off that energy. Guys like Livingston, which is also, I mean, he's a really powerful hitter as well, and he just wants to hit every ball out of the ground. So I think you got to set the tone in T20 cricket, and you got to get wickets up front. And I think that's what India did. And it turned out to be a comfortable win in the end for them. But dare I say, this England side always bounces back, and they bounce back really, really hard. So, I mean, by no means is this series done and dusted. And we got another one today. And, I can expect an England response coming in today, either batting first or chasing. They're going to go for it.
Yeah, I think, let me just check. I think who actually won the toss? Got to actually won the toss in this match. Let me just go all the way down. Okay, hold on a second. Sorry about that. Oh, yeah, it is. Oh, India actually elected to bat first. That's a rarity. Normally, India would like to chase in T20s. Okay, that's nice. Something different. Okay. I hope Arshdeep plays again. He really was good on his debut. I don't like all this rotations. For like, it's fine. They wanted to test out the bench strength, but to give the poor guy one match in the series is a bit strange. But hopefully, it might be a. Hopefully, I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he should get a second game, because he bowled a fantastic spell, especially to a guy like Jason Roy, who was so destructive, especially in the power play, and he was superb. And he kept Jason Roy on his toes there, definitely. I mean, I actually didn't see much of the game, but I mean, that spell was fantastic. And I think Pandya's all-round skills in that game was also fantastic. So, I think the kid needs to get another game here, and he's bowled well this season as well, especially the IPL. So, I think they should give him a game. But dare I say, Sid, this England juggernaut is definitely going to try and bounce back really hard today, and we know what to expect from this England side. They're not a side that likes tasting defeat, And
Yeah, yeah.
I expect them to come quite hard today.
Yeah, I know that Gaurav Kapoor made a joke about that England left their attacking instincts at some back corner at some ground. So obviously it'd be fun to see how England play today. Yeah, that'd be cool to watch both sides playing aggressively and hopefully a much more closer match. It's good for cricket. It gets kind of boring if you see one-sided results.
Absolutely, and especially in T20s, you wanted to go down to the last ball, the last over. I mean, you want to see that drama. So, yeah, I just hope we get a thriller. I think we are going to get a high-scoring game. We definitely are going to get a high-scoring game because the wickets that I've seen in the T20 blasts as well have been really, really good for batting, and I've seen some really high scores being chased down. So, I expect a high-scoring affair today. Hey.
Yeah. Okay. Let's get down to. I think for the Australia and Sri Lanka, they started the second test yesterday. The current score line is Australia were all out today at 364, Sri Lanka 164 for 2. So much more competitive. I hope Sri Lanka can get past that 364 and then anything can happen.
Well, it didn't look that competitive yesterday. I mean, after stumps, because Sri Lanka looked really, really flat. I think they let it get away yesterday, especially in that middle session when Manas and Steve Smith. I mean, the betting machine, Steve Smith, is back. I mean, it's been a while, but he's back in form now. So, look, this is a much better. This is a much better effort from Sri Lanka. Definitely, it's looking even Stevens at the moment. So. There was a bit of a collapse from Australia this morning. They lost, I think, 60. They lost 5 for 66, which was fantastic by Sri Lanka, getting those wickets and trying to knock the deficit down now. So what is it, 200 behind? I think if they can get close to this Australian score, Sid, I think they can make things very difficult for Australia in that third session. Because you're going to get some turns. So I think most importantly is to bat time and try and get as close to that Australian score as possible. If you can overtake that score, I mean, all the better. But try and get as close as possible and then try and strangle Australia in that second innings because there's enough for the Sri Lankan seamers and spinners to work with. And let's see what happens. It seems like a riveting test match at the moment.
Yeah, I mean, what they could do, they're going at a current run rate of 2.98, so if they can try and bat the whole of tomorrow, get to a lead of 200. I know it sounds fanciful, but if they can do that, then hopefully on the fourth day, they can bowl Australia out for maybe 300 and chase 100.
Absolutely. I mean, let's remember something, that there's only been 2 days in this test match so far. There's another 3 days to go, and remember, the third day is the best day for batting in test matches. So the pitch, generally is the best on day 3. So tomorrow is a cashing in day for Sri Lanka. They really got to cash in. Because if they don't cash in, then Australia is going to win this one easily again. So they really, really got to cash in. They got to keep these Australian seamers in the heat. And therefore, as long as possible, let them toil for as long as possible, in that heat. And they got to earn their wickets. They just can't be gifting wickets away like they did in that first test, which was a bit of a funeral in that last in that second innings batting effort. So they've got to let the Australians earn their wickets, and they've got to let them. They've got to keep them out there. So if they bat time, and obviously, I mean, if they bat the entire day tomorrow, they could easily have 300 runs, and the 164 that they have now. I mean, 300 plus 164, you're looking at 464, you're already looking at a lead of 100. I mean, that would be a perfect situation for Sri Lanka. If they could get a 100-run lead, I mean, that would really put Australia on the back foot, which means they really have to, try and knock off that lead first and then get knock off that deficit and then get a substantial lead for Sri Lanka to obviously, chasing that second innings. But I think if Sri Lanka are chasing anything between, I'd say 180 and 200 in that second innings, if they can chase anything between 180 and 200, I think they got a
Mm-hmm.
fantastic opportunity to level this test series.
Okay. I always thought if it's 180, 200, it might be a bit tricky, because Australia's bowling is pretty good. But yeah, I guess it's 50-50 for
Look,
me if it gets to that level. Yeah.
I think you got to back yourself as a batting side. So, I mean, 180, 200,
Mm.
you got to back yourself as a batting side. You got to back yourself to get those runs. I mean,
Yeah.
you're playing Australia. I mean, for Pete's sake, you got to try and get your best performances out there. So, I mean,
Yeah.
180,
Yeah.
200, it's much better than chasing 300 or 350, which England are chasing down quite easily these days, which is a bit scary
Yeah.
to watch.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I think 180, 200, I'd back the batting side. I'd say
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, so 9 times out of 10, I'd back the batting side to chase
Yeah.
that
My
down
only
in
issue,
the fourth
my only
innings.
issue is the pitch will get worse. That's why I thought 180, 200 would be tricky. But anyway, yeah, you never know. I mean, I think this pitch so far seems to be playing fair, for a goal pitch. Normally goal pitches are quite nasty, but this pitch seems to be fair, hey?
Yeah, absolutely. Gaul hasn't been a good hunting ground for a lot of visiting teams, and I think the Proteas toured there 4 years ago, and that series didn't end very well as well. So yeah, it's obviously a spinner's paradise, Gaul,
Yeah, but I
and
think this one
Murali.
is playing.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think this pitch is playing fair, though, eh? This one is playing
yeah,
fair.
yeah.
It's
It's
not
it's it's
overly.
definitely a much better. It's a much more fairer pitch because there's a lot of assistance for the seamers as well. I think majority of the wickets we've seen so far has been taken by the seamers. So there is something to work with there, and there's enough. There is enough for Sri Lanka to work with in that second innings of Australia. So
Hmm.
I think if they get a lead, they got to try and target
Yeah,
a lead or get as
yeah,
close
yeah.
as possible to that Australian score if they
Hmm.
can't get a lead, and
Yeah.
just try and strangle them in that second innings.
Okay, so let's just do a quick thoughts, eh? Another series went for West Indies here. This is for the T20s, 2-0 out of the three T20s. It probably would have been 3-0 if it wasn't for the rain for the first T20, because Bangladesh were 105 for 8. So, what were your quick thoughts there, hey?
Yeah, look, I think these pitches have been a bit too spicy for Bangladesh. I think they really haven't come to grips with these pitches so far in the West Indies, which I think a side like Bangladesh, they made so much of progress over the last couple of years, especially playing in foreign conditions, winning in New Zealand, and
Hmm.
then winning in SA as well. So, I mean, you would have thought they probably would have backed themselves, in on this tour, and probably, I don't know. I think they've really underperformed in this tour. Sid. I mean, if you look at this
Okay.
windy side, I know they did beat England, in April, in the Test series, but I mean, not one of the greatest Test sides going around at the moment. So, yeah,
Yeah.
I think they just haven't come to grips with conditions.
Yeah.
It's something probably mindset. They have let them down a bit, but yeah, I think they've really underperformed on this tour, given how much of progress they have made in the last couple of months.
I know, you see, I was talking about the T20, not the Test matches. Test matches are over and done with. The T20s, I would have thought Bangladesh would have made the T20s a lot closer. Hmm.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same situation. I mean, they haven't come to grips with the conditions and the
Yeah.
pitches. I think it's been a bit too
Yeah.
spicy for them. But I mean, having said that,
Okay.
the ODIs, uh, I mean, they're a decent one-day side.
Hmm. Oh
So
yeah. Yeah. They're
you can that
playing.
one
Let
is
me see how many.
more competitive,
Yeah.
but I expect the
Yeah.
Windies to win
It has.
themselves.
Yeah. It gives them more time to get into the game. I think the first one is tomorrow. Actually, the first ODI. They're playing the best of three ODIs. So I'm gonna give it to West Indies to win it 2-1.
Yeah, I think 2-1 looks a pretty fair sort of result, eh? And yeah, I mean they do back themselves in one day, eh? So you really kind of underestimate them anymore. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, so it could either be a 2-0, 2-1 win for Windies or 3-0. The way I look at it,
Yeah.
it all
Yeah.
depends on the makeup of the Bangladesh side, and
Hmm.
if their best players available. Because if they have their best player in the park, they are quite in that form. So, yeah, anything is possible, but I think the Windies would probably sneak it.
Okay. All right. Before we wrap off, you've been following the Wimbledon tennis. The matchup that I wanted happened. Kyrgios and Djokovic. Although the way that Kyrgios went through obviously wasn't what he would have wanted, but I guess it made sense if you look at how Rafael had to battle in that one match. I mean, against Fritz Taylor, maybe in hindsight he should have just retired, so the poor guy could have had a chance playing his first semi-final. But I don't think Rafael rolls that way. What were your thoughts?
I'm actually really, really disappointed for Nadal, because I think this was a year that he could have created some real history, and I don't think it would have ever been matched again in Grand Slam tennis. I mean, he had the opportunity to win 4 Grand Slams in a row, and unfortunately, I mean, the body couldn't take it anymore. And Kyrgios in the final. I mean, congratulations to him. I'm not sure if he would have made it had he played Nadal, a fit Nadal. Having said that, a fit Nadal. So yeah, I mean, looking at tomorrow's final, I think Djokovic is probably a lot happier that Nadal is not there, and that he's playing Kyrgios, who's had his moments in this tournament. Let's be honest, yeah, it's kind of looking like another Djokovic win for me, hey?
I'm more on the other side of the road. I think, to be honest, I wanted Kyrgios to win because I was getting kind of bored of this matchup of Djokovic and Nadal, because Djokovic always seemed to beat Nadal, especially on the grass nowadays. So I think with Kyrgios, he's a bit more exciting, and he's beaten Djokovic 2 out of 2 times, although that was the last time was in 2017. So I'm kind of hoping for a hat-trick. And I think his style may rattle Djokovic, you know. He's serving, he's drop shots. He's just different. He's not the run-of-the-mill type of player. So I'm looking forward to this matchup tomorrow.
Yeah, he's sort of the John McEnroe of 2022, if you think about it. So, I wish you got to back that up with skills as well, and you got to back that up with trophies. So I think McEnroe backed that up with trophies in his career. So I think it's time for Kyrgios to back it up, because I mean, if he doesn't back it up with trophies, that's just going to be remembered as a wannabe. And I think he obviously wants to aim a little bit more higher. So yeah, but I mean, Djokovic, I mean, master of the grass court over the last couple of years. You know, it's quite a menacing opponent to actually face in a final, because I mean, he always finds a way to come back. I mean, even if he's a set down or 2 sets down, I mean, I've seen him back from 2 sets down. So he finds a way. I know last year's final was quite exciting. So yeah, I expect it to be quite a close game, as you say, because when you talk about Kyrgios is actually a competitor. He's quite a fierce competitor. He's a fighter on the court. So it's by no means is it going to be a walkover, but I just expect Djokovic with experience to obviously come through in this one.
Yeah, I do feel it's Kyrgios' best chance in the sense that, well, I say best chance because if he had to choose which one he would have preferred to play in the finals compared to Nadal or Djokovic, I think the only reason I would have thought Djokovic was because of the fact that he'd beaten him more than Nadal. But then I think it's been even Steven. But anyway, I'll be praying for Kyrgios because I want to see someone different win. It gets a bit boring after a while.
Absolutely, and I think when you're talking about Grand Slams as well, with the exception of the Australian Open and maybe US Open, I think the Roland Garros and Wimbledon has been pretty sort of one-sided in the last couple of years in terms of who's winning it. So it would be quite an exciting game. It quite be an historic day tomorrow if Kyrgios can actually overcome Djokovic. So yeah, I mean, I'm not a huge fan of Djokovic, to be honest with you. I'm more a Nadal fan. In terms of following sort of certain types of players. But yeah, just based on experience. But as you said, Kyrgios is a competitor, and
Mm.
he's gonna fight. He's gonna fight tooth and nail, and he's gonna
Yeah.
rally big time. So uh, this, yeah, I mean, this could possibly be his best chance because I mean, if you look at the tournament so far, I think the best players probably. I mean, I know Nadal got injured, but he's one. I'd have to put him in the top two there with Djokovic, and I
Yeah.
think Kyrgios. I put Kyrgios in third position. I think you know, with Nadal not being there, I think
Mm.
obviously Kyrgios is the next best player in the tournament so far. So he's probably rightfully deserved his spot in the final. And let's see if he can you know
Mm. Mm.
uh, put his money where his mouth is and win a Grand Slam.
Yeah, he won the doubles Grand Slam this year, so at least he's got that to look back at. Even if it was only, even though it was the best of three sets, I think for the doubles in Australia. So, but anyway, I'm sure you'll get motivation from that. What's your thoughts on the ladies' final today? A lady from Africa is Jabir. It'd be nice if she wins, eh? She's from Tunisia, part of Africa. Nice if a lady, nice if someone from Africa wins Wimbledon. How nice.
That would be really historic, eh? That would be really really historic, and she's had a fantastic run so far. I mean, Tunisian and in a Grand Slam final, and I think the biggest Grand Slam final. I mean, you can ever play for in
Mm.
tennis. I think I mean, it's amazing. It's a stuff of dreams, and yeah,
Mm.
look, she's playing against a really fierce competitor, and I think I'm, if you look at this woman's uh, draw this year, it's been really, really competitive. Eh? We've seen some really,
Mm.
really good tennis, and obviously my favorite was Halep, but obviously she fell off the cup there.
Mm.
So I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
this is a tough one to call, eh? This is a really, really
I
tough one to call. I think
I'm going for Jabir. One because part of it is with the heart. 'Cause I wanted to see someone from Africa winning, but also I think she's she has a more complete game.
Rabianic. I think she's obviously got a height. She's got a height advantage in terms of
Mm.
Jabril, but obviously Jabril, as you said, she's got more skills to her game. So yeah, yeah, definitely, man. I think yeah, it's a tough one to call, but I think fingers crossed. I mean, for Africa, let's hope she gets
Yeah.
this one done. It'll be fantastic.
Okay. Any final words before we wrap up, or we sort it out?
Yeah. So my predictions for today, I think England would probably bounce back. Hey, I think they're gonna make it
Okay.
1-1, and Sri Lanka, Australia. Yeah, I'm hoping for a Sri Lankan win. I'm hoping.
Okay. And for the West Indies and Bangladesh, what are you predicting?
Uh, I think the Windies will take this one. I think they'll take the first game, and then we will see how it
Uh,
goes. But yeah, I think overall they probably win the series.
okay. So on a final note, my predictions today are Jabir for the women's final and Curious for the men's final. Just something different.
Something different. I mean, I don't mind. I don't mind if Kyrgios wins it. I don't mind. Absolutely don't mind at all.
Okay. Okay. Anyways, I shall see you on the other side.
Cheers, sir. Enjoy your weekend. Chat to you soon.